Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gamey Daddy channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So I think we have reached the point where we can freely talk about a Division continuation through 2021 and 2022. Now, this may also be something that doesn't work out, so let's not call it a surety. Nothing is certain. So I'm going to be careful in how I actually put that. But there is something I wanted to talk about why I think a Division 3 will be likely from a technical perspective. There's a technical aspect of the video game itself. I mean, I'm talking, regarding like standards and files and all that stuff that I feel lend more credence to the Division game. Now, regarding the 60 frames per second patch on the PS5, I genuinely believe that the Division game, the developers did that to be able to leverage Year 3 content, whatever it may be. I mean, my last video, I did a Year 3 wish list. I don't know if those things are going to even, be brought to the game, but if they are, that'd be really nice. It'd be really cool. But again, it may be something that never really happens. Now, when you also kind of, come full circle to think about it, you have to say, can a game get to the point where it's actually super bloated and too big? And one of my audience members commented and said something along the lines of the Division 2 itself is freaking bloated. I mean, if you compare it to the Division 1, there is more stuff in the game. And this may necessarily not be a great thing because it pretty much speaks to, quantity over quality, in a sense. Now, yes, when I say quality, that's also subjective because I know, many Division 1 folk love the Division 1 more than Division 2, but then there are also people who first touched the Division 2 that would say the Division 1 felt janky to them. I know, right? They disrespected Division 1. That's kind of like where the game started from. But I can feel the way that they actually, see it because we got to deal with all of those mechanics and all of those really clunky aspects of the Division 1. So it's really there and it holds a special place to many of us. And so when we kind of think about it, do you really, see this game expanding much more? And I've seen other people say, well, it would be nice if the game continued to just expand over and over again. And from a technical side of things, I don't think that that's possible right now. And the reason why is because the game is still currently existing on the next generation, the old generation of consoles, the PS4 and the Xbox One. We know from what the PlayStation 4 has been able to offer that it's not necessarily a strong machine. It's what Sony was able to put together at that, time, and place. I can't fault them. They're trying to do their jobs. They're trying to bring a console to the market, and these consoles, in many cases, they're being prototyped years ahead. And at that time, I don't think the technology in 2013 was actually too impressive. I remember starting my first job and, the place I worked for could only provide a computer that I nicknamed the T-Rex. Technology was not as ubiquitous. I still work in the same place today, and I can tell you the kind of technology that they furnish me with, I don't even have enough time to use some of them because it's interesting how technology basically exploded over those years, and the Sony PlayStation did not necessarily get too much of a refresh, unlike the Xbox, which got multiple consoles that basically changed its landscape. And also, I think, its operating system felt a little natural too to run a lot of these games because many of them are designed on Windows, if you get what I mean. I don't know, maybe that helps with those consoles. So think about it. If they were to add another map, another area, another expansion, can the old generations of consoles still take it? Maybe, maybe not. But a game like The Division, which is heavily detailed when it comes to, assets, when it comes to, world building, lighting, all those things, textures that make a game look very pristine, if not one of the best looking games. No, let me just say it. The best looking RPG looter shooter from a realistic perspective. I mean, if you really want to kind of call it that, I don't know if the old generations are going to be able to run them. And I think this may also be something that, on watching a video from Astacross, when he was explaining Destiny 2 content being sunset, he said that the developers talked about that sunsetting decision partly being as a result of the technical side of things. I know he also expressed some concerns about it being a thing that a lot of the community didn't necessarily like because some of their favorite items were being sunset as well. And so we would not want for any Division content to be sunset in any way. God forbid that you cannot go into Division 1 right now and play survival. I mean, that would be absolutely insane. You know what I mean? It would be crazy if you can't do that. I mean, if they brought it to the Division 2, then sure, maybe they could do that in Division 1, but I don't think Ubisoft really follows that model. They'll just move to a sequel more than anything else if there's a technical issue, which I think there was for the Division 1. Well, they claimed that there was, for them to then move to the Division 2, which also still shared a lot more technical problems too. How did no one see that? And so that's pretty much one of the big questions that I have. That's pretty much one of the questions that I don't know what the answer would be necessarily. But I believe and I think that the answer will probably be that a Division 3 will be better, established if it was done on the next generation of consoles. Another thing that's also crossed my mind in these technical aspects of things is if we want to see them leverage cross-platform play and, cross-saving, I think this might be the way to go. Right now in the PvP community, especially on the PlayStation 4, there are so many issues having to deal with people playing on the Xbox. Sorry, I said the Xbox, on the PS5 versus the PS4, because the PS4 does not run the game as well as the PS5 does, obviously, for different machines, one being more powerful. And so because of all of those intricacies, PvP has become basically an eyesore for people who enjoy the content. And it's not like it's anybody else. No one is saying that one person can't get the console and whatever it is. It's just availability is trash right now. As much as Sony planned to have a big release and Microsoft planned a big release, I'm highly doubtful that they envisioned properly exactly how this was going to go. And instead of basically serving their, customers, which is the biggest mistake that they've made, is not paying attention to the fact that there were people who were just sitting waiting to scalp all of these consoles and try to make a mess out of things and create this unnecessary, demand just because they wanted to make money. I felt like Microsoft and Sony should have known that this was a potential. They do market research and they know people have been just, sitting around, just basically waiting for these consoles. They should have been very, very, wise in the way that they deployed them. But by the time we get a Division 3, or by the time we're reaching the 2022 content for the Division, which is most likely a Division 3, I think a new generation of console will better serve the game in providing a lot of those functionalities. And the reason I'm talking about cross saves and whatever is because Ubisoft right now seems to be moving towards that direction. Just recently they've decided that your Uplay or Ubisoft Connect account is going to basically provide you kind of this cross availability on some of their newer games, where you're going to be able to have your progress and all these things basically span on these other games if you have the games on other platforms. This was an announcement made, but I think there are only few games that are leveraging this, and I think the Division, a future Division game, let me put it that way, can most likely benefit from this. And at that point, you still at least have your old Division 2 that you can fire up, come play whenever you want. The content still existing if the servers are open, which I believe the servers are going to stay open, except something bad happens. But Division 1 servers are still open right now, so I see no reason why we're not going to have that. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section, especially from those of you who are Destiny fans. Do you think this game can get too bloated and face the same issues, or do you think we could be in a good spot and still get away with more content being added as it stands? That's it for me. Thank you so much for your time and audience. Peace out.